So you're training with these guys and you're building muscle, but you are on at the time, full carnivore diet completely.
Yeah, I was carnivore for sure. Like last year, I started carnivore in August of 2017. I did a month of, it was just salmon and anything that came from a cow. So like any type of beef product, and I felt freaking fantastic. And but when I was training with them, like I would hit a wall sometimes, especially when it got into the summer. I would cramp more. Like there would be times when my muscles were just like shaking and stuff. Like it was probably a little bit of dehydration, a little bit of electrolyte issues, just stuff that I still hadn't figured out. And so what I started to do, like about a month into it, was I would consume a post-workout meal with 50 carbs in it. And I thought, that's all I'm going to do, guys. That's all I got, like, and Ben was like, okay, whatever. Like, Ben would eat, like when he would carb up, he would eat like 200 carbs, which, if you're going to carb up, you might as well carb up. Mm-hmm. Like 50 carbs for me, what it did was it basically, it did fill me out a little bit, but then the rest of the afternoon and night, I was really, really craving carbs. And so the easy fix for that, which I did this year when I started doing actual carb ups, is like if I do a carb up, I do in the morning, very little carbs, pre-workout, super starch, which is a real cool resistant starch that is basically very keto friendly. It burns like a fat. It doesn't cause insulin to rise. It keeps your blood sugar stable. But on my carb up day, I would add like a tablespoon of honey to that. And then post-workout, I would get like 100 to 120 carbs. But then the key was that extra 2 meals later in the day, each one had another 30 to 40 carbs. Mm. And that was so much better. And my blood sugar was stable. I woke up in ketosis every single time. So all that to say, like I got into the keto muscle building. I got into building muscle because it was fun, like it was a different thing. It was a new thing to learn. And of course, like Ben and I are having conversations while we're training all the time. And we're talking about like, what does this need to look like? We need to make this into a program. What are the things that we're doing? And some of these things we stumbled upon, like Derek at first, we did rest quite a bit. Like the rest periods were like maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And those did very well for us. Like we did very well with those. And then later on towards the end, like I would say the last 6 weeks of Derek's prep, like Ben would have him add like some drop sets and some other sets. And I wouldn't even do those, but I would hit a wall. And we finally made this program, man, because like everybody asks, how can you build muscle on keto? And no one asks how. And no one has ever asked me how. And I was at the time already getting kind of sick of this whole thing, like where people say, can you build muscle on keto? Yeah, you can. Look, Danny Vega, Robert Sykes, and you name a few, but that's not really saying how to do it. Or, even if we build muscle on keto, that doesn't mean that it's possible because maybe we're outliers, So what we did was we sat down and, man, there would be times like, because I would go to dinner at Ben's, the families would be there, and there will be times when the kids are playing, everybody's like, just socializing, and Ben and I are like sitting on the couch, going back and forth, and I'm typing something and I'm showing him. So I wrote most of the keto document, like the keto kickstart document, and Ben contributed to that. Ben wrote the workouts. I wrote the cardio fat adaptation program, and then we both came up with all this ongoing content that we're doing. And man, people are crushing it. People are doing really, really well, because when you eat a ketogenic diet, you do have to be aware of the limitations, and you got to be aware of the things that you need to consider. Because if not, whether you're trying to build muscle or burn fat, if you're training the wrong way and you're eating a ketogenic diet, you could literally be sabotaging yourself with your training.